welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And it is our job to give you the most interesting tidbits in world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long podcast every week just for you. Thank you guys for tuning in to another interesting episode. We have quite a lot of topics to get to in the sports, entertainment, and odd news realms. But before we get to that, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country? And nice ghost shirt.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I got the ghost shirt on because it's spooky season.
Yes, this is the time to wear ghost memorabilia.
If there's an appropriate time, now is it.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying spooky season. I have been watching The Midnight Club on Netflix.
That sounds like the racing game on PlayStation. That's not the same thing?
No, not the same thing at all. It is I talked about it during This Week in Entertainment a few weeks ago. It's a show that follows a group of teens in a hospice care facility, and they have a club where they get together and they tell each other scary stories. So the episode,
I do remember you talking about this. Yeah, this was like 2 weeks ago on Mike's This Week in Entertainment.
Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely. And it's really neat because each episode kind of so far follows the same formula where it's...
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to silence my phone. Sorry about that.
So each episode, I just felt the rumble on the whole table. I'm like, what was that?
Every week I'm going to give you something different here on the podcast.
Throw a curveball.
Yeah.
But back to the Midnight Club. Every episode follows the same formula where it has like this mystery of the history of the house that they're living in. It's very old. There's rumors of a cult operating out of there at one point. There's like mysterious symbols and people see things out the corner of their eyes. Typical spooky stuff. Then the other half of the episode is after the kids get together to tell the scary stories, it shows you that scary story. So it's kind of like multiple stories happening in parallel. It's the stories that are happening to them, and it's the stories that they're telling as well. And so each episode is a little different. So far, it's not as scary as, say, The Haunting of Hill House, which was made by the same creator. If you've seen that, I thought that was absolutely terrifying. But this is still really good. Very interesting. I like the characters. I like the mystery. I like the jump scares. It's all very appropriately spooky and dark and mysterious. So I'm enjoying it so far. A couple episodes in.
All right, there you go. Quick little reaction there from Mike.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. What have you been up to?
So Rachel and I went to the Renaissance Fair on Saturday. She loves the Renaissance Fair, so
nice. It is a lot of fun there.
Yep, have to go, especially when it's nice and cool right now.
Yeah.
This is my kind of weather, so I was definitely more happier going as opposed to when it's like, 90, 100 degrees.
Super
like,
hot.
I can't stay. Yeah.
So last year I went. I didn't get a chance to go this year, but did you get all the food stuff? Did you get the turkey leg?
Got my legs and eggs.
Got your turkey legs, your Scotch eggs.
Yep.
Did you get some eggs? Did you get some mead?
I did, and I had my garlic pickle too. I had my garlic pickle.
Oh, I didn't see that one last time.
Yeah, you weren't there for when I had garlic pickles.
I don't remember garlic pickles.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Okay. Let's give you a garlic pickle on a stick. Just makes you happy.
It doesn't get any better than that.
How can you say no to a pickle on a stick?
If someone's like, "Do you want a pickle on a stick?" and you say no, I think there's something wrong with you.
You are not human.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
especially if it's garlic.
Yeah, you gotta love that. So yeah, that was fun on Saturday. And then Sunday, I actually got in 9 holes. I played a little round of golf.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. It was good to get back out and swing in the clubs again.
It's a nice time of year to get out there because it's, like you said, it's not too hot. It's not too cold.
Yeah, but you better get in before November because I feel like the cold is rushing in soon.
It's about to get super cold.
Yeah, there's actually a freeze warning coming up this week.
I mean, right now it says it's like 30-some degrees outside.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think that sweet spot of it being like 50s, 60s, I think it's starting to come to an end already.
Oh yeah.
But nevertheless, still enjoy it while you can. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did this weekend. And
nice.
That and a lot of sports news, which we'll get to. So
we'll get to that right now, actually.
Yeah, why not? Let's launch right into it, folks. It is time for the first part of the show. We call it the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Sports coming at you in your face, and we get to play the epic win music again.
Woo! Mamma mia! Boobies.
What does this guy think he's an Indian?
Like fresh eggs?
Wow, yes. Not only did the Eagles win against the Cowboys, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but the Philadelphia Phillies are just one step away from the World Series. They won their divisional series
Yep.
against the defending champion Braves.
Pretty convincing fashion, too.
And they are in the National League Championship Series fighting for the pennant against the San Diego Padres. This is absolutely crazy. Nobody thought the Phillies were going to get this far.
I was one of them. I said here on the podcast, I said, they're not going to win.
They're just hot at the right time, and they're knocking off these teams with 100-win seasons here.
I mean, they have no right being here. I mean, they were the 6th seed. I had completely written them off. I said, we'd go through this every single year. Oh, the Sixers and the Phillies and the Eagles are all going to go super far, all very positive, and then they just kind of peter out. But the Phillies, they're proving me wrong.
Yep. They're just getting hot at the right time, and they're just hungry. They're pounding out wins. They're playing some good small ball, some good long ball every now and then. But this has definitely been a season to remember for the Philadelphia Phillies. Nobody thought, especially them as the 3rd team in the National League East, nobody thought that they were going to make it far in the postseason.
And their first 2 series, they won in commanding fashion. They swept the first
wild card
the wild
series.
card.
Yep.
And the divisional series, what was it? 3
games to 1. Yep.
And it's not like they're taking it down to the wire. They're winning in convincing fashion.
Yep.
So far, they're 5-1 in the postseason.
Yep.
Can they keep it up?
They
though?
can. San Diego Padres actually did us a huge favor. I'd be more worried if they were going up against the Dodgers. But the Padres, they're kind of like a mirror team of the Phillies that they kind of, flew under the radar, lost a star player, and they're just rocking and rolling, getting hot at the right time as well. It's kind of like a mirror match from Mortal Kombat between the two teams, in my opinion. So first off, absolutely amazing. The Phillies have made it this far, and everybody here in the city of Philadelphia is very excited.
Far exceeded expectations.
Yes. But there's something I do want to bring up, and it does tie into football a little bit, so don't worry, Mike.
Okay.
But have you noticed that the bye week now, it was supposed to be like a reward that you get if you have a really good regular season. It seems to me recently that it's almost been now a negative effect. We've had now 2 teams in the postseason for baseball. They had a bye week. Bam, they're out of the playoffs. Multiple teams with 100-win seasons. Bam, out of the playoffs. And then last year in the NFL, both number 1 seeds that had the bye week, the Packers and the Titans, they had bye weeks. Bam, out in the first game. So I don't know. Is it weird? Is the bye week now kind of almost a hindrance? Because it is. I could see the logic for it. It kind of stops your weekly momentum or your routine.
Yeah, it is weird because everybody wants the bye week. I don't think a single player, coach, owner, fan doesn't want the bye week. They want to be number 1 overall. But you do see this recent trend of teams who get that number 1 seed, they fall out of rhythm, they lose their momentum, they get a week off, and, it sounds crazy, but I think the rust does start to build up a little bit that quickly when you do have that week off, especially at the end of the season when your body is tired, and then you get that little bit of rest, and then all of a sudden you got to
ramp up again.
Yeah, it's like, going from a cold, dead stop, and then, it's easier to keep the car coasting than to come to a screeching halt and then take off again, right?
Yeah.
So, now, And, they're finely tuned athletic machines. They shouldn't have the same sort of trouble as, say, me getting up off the couch. But I think that, the proof is in the pudding here, in that you consistently see these teams struggle. Like you mentioned, last year with the NFL teams, this year with the baseball teams. So, especially when teams secure the bye and then they take the last couple weeks of the season off as well, because I remember the Colts used to do that with Manning, and they used to lose all the time. The Eagles used to do that as well under Andy Reid, and they always used to lose as well. And it was so frustrating because you want your players to rest and be healthy.
The Eagles would make it to the NFC Championship game, and then they would lose.
Yes,
under
least,
Reid.
That's true. At least they won the divisional every year.
Now, the Colts is an interesting scenario because there was one season I remember they went 13-0, and everybody was saying, "Oh, they should challenge the undefeated record, go for the undefeated record."
They lost the last three, right?
And they lost the last three instead to rest Peyton Manning, and then they lost the first playoff game.
I'm just saying, you take that much time off, even if it's just a week or two, you start to get. Hey, anybody out there, take PTO for a week. How do you feel that first Monday back?
A full week, yeah.
Take a full week off, and you log in on Monday. How do you feel? No work gets done. That's what happens to these athletes. No work gets done. They lose their game.
Or at least the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be an interesting thing to keep track of. How these bye teams do.
The only two teams with a bye week that made it in baseball are in the American League. The Yankees won, but also by the skin of their teeth too. That went to Game 5. They almost got knocked out. And Houston, they won actually in relatively good fashion. So those were the two teams impervious to this bye curse. Apparently, that's
okay. So not a foolproof theory.
No, but it's still startling.
I think there's something there.
It's still startling. Also, by the way, screw you, Dodgers.
Sure, yeah.
There's an article in the LA Times that they are so, for lack of a better word, butthurt that they had a 111 win season and they got knocked out of the playoffs.
Oh, well, play better.
That they are saying that there should be no playoffs. They said 162 games should determine who is the champion automatically.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
They're like, if we just have the most wins of any team, we automatically get the title.
Yeah. That is the dumbest article I've ever read that was published by an actual newspaper.
What happens if two teams have the same record? It might not be as possible in baseball, but it happens tons of times in football.
That is the definition of butthurt if I've ever seen it.
The only team
you lost. Get over it.
That's pathetic. And, the only team that I can think of that's more butthurt than they are the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. And boy, it is a good time to be an Eagles fan because the Eagles pulled off a big win against the rival Dallas Cowboys.
I want me some glory hole.
Well, unfortunately, Jerry Jones did not get his glory hole.
No, sir.
I want me some glory hole.
Nope. No glory hole for Jerry Jones in Philadelphia.
They almost got a little bit of glory hole, but the Eagles did fend off a late comeback by the Dallas Cowboys to win 26-17.
I want me some glory hole.
We denied Mr. Jones's glory hole.
Yep.
And you just love to see the Eagles beat down on the Dallas Cowboys. Rich, what are some of your big takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I know. We got to do positives here. Second quarter, man. Philadelphia,
they're unbeatable. I wish there could be, we could only play the second quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is the quarter that they just turn the jet engines on. Everything starts clicking. Everything starts working.
20 points.
By the way, fun fact, the bookies have already caught on to this. If you want to bet the second quarter side on who's going to win the second quarter, you have to lay $7 to win $1 for betting on the Eagles.
It's a good way to make money, though, if you have money to spend.
But that's a ridiculous amount of risk you got to put down.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, so the bookies have already caught on to this. But, yeah, this team seemed to really come together. Had some really great defensive stops. Cooper Rush, who was near perfect going into this game, I believe had 2 interceptions.
Three,
yeah.
3 interceptions.
I mean, yeah, this is what you needed to do. Pressure Cooper Rush, remove the invincibility argument against him, and they made him look like what he is, a backup quarterback. So all that was very good on the Eagles side of the ball.
Yeah, and just following up on the defense, shutting down those those wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, held them to pedestrian numbers. I think, man, we haven't had a secondary like this since probably Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown.
Yep.
I mean, Cooper Rush, 18 completions, 3 interceptions. He had a quarterback rating of 37.
He had a quarterback rating of 1 going into halftime.
I mean, it was shocking. And the only reason teams start to come back against us a little bit is I think we do get a little more conservative in the second half of games after we pour on the points in the second quarter, which leads me to some of my negatives. I need to see more from this team in literally any other quarter besides the second quarter. Like just something.
The second half.
Yeah.
We need
something.
something in the second half.
Specifically, we need to get Hurts more involved in the second half.
Oh yeah, I wanted to wait on that, but okay, you jumped right into it.
I will jump into it because Hurts.
I don't remember Hurts throwing a pass in the second half.
Let me flip the tables, Rich. Do you think he's the guy?
Yes, but I feel like they're putting chains on. I don't know. I don't understand the play calling in the second half.
That sounds
of this
like a
game.
big caveat to he's the guy.
I just want to know what was going through their decision making in that second half.
Is it coaching? Is it decision making from the quarterback? Is it
because I really do not remember Jalen Hurts throwing passes in the second half of that game on Monday night or Sunday night.
He didn't really. I mean, he had the touchdown to Devontae Smith.
But yeah, let's officially launch the segment.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
All right, so Mikey, where does he rank in terms of the guy scale?
So second quarter, you're watching him. He's the guy. He can do everything. He can do no wrong. Every other quarter, where is Hurts?
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
So I'll say this to everybody who, and don't get me wrong, I think what Hurts is doing is very impressive.
I love that this became a thing.
It has to be. I'm still convinced it's the only reason that they win. So I have to keep it going. Here's what I'll say about Jalen Hurts. I really like Jalen Hurts. I do. And I think what he's doing is very exciting. And I think that, yes, he is one of the big reasons why we've had so much success. But in the NFL, you also need to be consistent, and you need to demonstrate consistent success. And teams will expose you if you don't. And there were times during that game where Dallas's defense in the second half was getting them back into this game. At one point, they had whittled our lead from, it was 20-0 all the way down to 2017.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're like, guys, are we about to lose this game at the very end?
Yep.
And I think we'd all agree that Dallas Cowboys are not as good as the Buffalo Bills, for instance, who we will face in the Super Bowl.
If we make it that far, yep.
We will face the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. And the Buffalo Bills will beat us in situations like this because their defense is better than Dallas's and their offense is better than Dallas's. So we need more consistency. And if the offense is going to run completely through Hurts, we need to make sure that he's performing in more than one quarter.
He needs to pass.
He needs to pass. I don't know if that's a coaching decision.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's him, not making the right reads. I know he was under a lot of pressure because Lane Johnson exited the game. So I don't know where it's coming from, but that is one of the big things they need to work on over the bye, is figuring out that second half and continuing to put the ball in Hurts' hand in meaningful ways and not just like scrambling for, 10 yards here and there. Like, I need to see more from Hurts in the passing game because the past couple of weeks he's been limited in that regard. And he is a quarterback at the end of the day.
Yes.
I know he can get it done with his legs, but he is also still a quarterback.
Yeah, and eventually, if your shtick is just running,
Russell Wilson,
it will come to an end at some point.
At some
Teams
point,
will figure it out.
Yeah. Here in Philadelphia, anybody who's watched the Eagles, you got Cunningham, you got McNabb, you got Vic. Wentz was a mobile quarterback as well. Time and time again, have we not learned our lesson? You need to be able to throw as well.
Yeah.
You have to.
And I just don't understand why in that second half there was
nothing.
I really don't remember there being many. I don't know. I could two. I want to know.
It was like less than a handful of passes.
I want to know what the play call was in the second. I seriously do not remember that many passing attempts by Hurts in the second half.
Now, the argument could be we're leading, so we get a little more conservative. We focus on the ground game.
No.
I don't buy that.
No. There's conservative, and then there's flat out refusing to pass. I
Right.
seriously do not remember Hurts passing in the second half of that game. Like,
No, I agree. I agree.
Because you can't keep just run. Like I know you're trying to wind down the clock and end the game, but you still got to change it up every now and then. You got to keep the defenders honest on the wide receivers and everybody.
My opinion has always been you keep the pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Like, you look at some of these other scores. I'm just looking at the ticker at the top of the screen here. New England puts up 38. The Jets put up 27 against Green Bay. Keep the pedal to the metal. Keep pushing. Keep scoring. Because these teams, they're going to come back.
Unless you're the Broncos and the Chargers on Monday Night Football.
Well, that's a completely different story.
Yeah. Dear God. How does a team win a game in overtime when there's no first downs made?
Russell Wilson's done.
What is happening? Dear God, I hated that game. I know, and I watched it too. I was like, this is the most ridiculous.
You keep doing this. He texts me. He's like, this game is awful. And I'm like, why are you watching it then?
Because it is ridiculous. I can't believe this is being aired on prime time.
I can imagine that is literally you watching the game.
Yeah, that's literally my audio from me watching the game in my living room. Like, it was.
I saw the score and I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is going on?
It was so atrocious. And every week it's getting worse and worse. Like, you think we've hit the bottom, and then, like, following week, oh, no, here we go. We found a new way to make it weirder.
Yeah. And it's always the primetime games. The primetime games, other than this past Eagles game, have been pretty atrocious.
I don't know who the scheduler was.
They should get fired.
They should get fired this year.
I'm convinced they intentionally gave the worst games to Amazon.
Whoever is the NFL scheduler for this 2022 season, got to fire him. All right. You had Bills and Chiefs this weekend on the docket. Why was that not a primetime game? Get the hell out of here. That should have been bumped all the way up. Sunday night or Monday night. That should have been marquee matchup, not this piece of crap.
Yeah, we'll get into the primetime games in a second when we go over our picks, but they've been just absolutely atrocious. I mean, you look at the schedule for this week and you're going, why are these teams in primetime?
Yeah,
just why? Like, they got the Bears and the Patriots.
Why?
Who thought they got the Steelers and the Dolphins?
Are you serious? The Bears and the Patriots?
That's Monday night.
What?
That's Monday night, and Sunday night.
How the hell am I supposed to bet on that?
Sunday night. Sunday night is Steelers at Dolphins.
Oh, dear God, what is
I don't know what they're like. Either they had some sort of traumatic brain injury.
You're fired. Whoever the scheduler person is, you're fired.
So it's like, who we should feature in primetime in back-to-back weeks? The Bears.
Yeah. Who?
Thursday and then Monday night.
Who thought that?
Yeah, the Bears.
Name me one wide receiver on the Bears.
Joe Schmo.
Nobody can. Thank you very much. All right. So, you know what? I guess we should launch into it. Our freaking. Oh boy, what we're looking so forward to this. Week 7, Eagles are on a bye, so we don't even have anything to root for. So, screw it. Here we go. Fantastic 4 picks.
That was so. I mean, you're right there. There's some weird matchups this week, like this one. I'm struggling to come up with plot lines for these. So we have an underperformer versus an underperformer. The overperformer, the Atlanta Falcons, are, I think, playing a little bit better than people thought they would. The underperformer, the Cincinnati Bengals, not quite living up to the hype. Rich, who wins this matchup? Both of them are 3-3. Atlanta Falcons at Cincinnati. Should be Cincinnati, but both these teams right now, they're kind of just there.
Bengals.
Yeah. You just can't trust Atlanta yet.
No, I can't.
I think they're 3-3 because of the weak division.
Yeah, and I know that they've had, I think, a top 10 offense, I believe. They have a very good stat with their offensive line production, but I don't know. I still don't see a whole lot of stars on this team. I think their record is more of a weak division.
Look, the Bengals were just there at the Super Bowl. They have talent. They just haven't been executing. I think they can.
Bengals had to deal with a whole revamp of their offensive line in the offseason. I think it took a couple of games for that line to gel and trust each other and get the motor running, which I think Cincinnati now has done. And Joe Burrow, he's still learning, but that to me means that he's growing and improving. I think there's more to look forward to on the Cincinnati side than on the Atlanta side in this game.
All right, there you have it. Both of us going Cincinnati. Will we differ in opinion on this one, though, an AFC South division rivalry? I think the NFL was expecting this matchup to be a little bit better as well. You have the Colts traveling to Tennessee to face off against the Titans. The Colts 3-2-1, that awful tie against the Titans at 3-2. Both these teams kind of just painfully average in a very below average division as well.
So I remember back in the beginning of the season, I said the Colts were on my do not bet list, like I couldn't trust them in anything.
Absolutely.
So the Colts are starting to gain a little more trustworthiness now. Matt Ryan is starting to at least move the offense down the field.
The return of Matty Ice?
Yeah, eventually. They'll have Pittman back. They'll have Jonathan Taylor. I think they're back now on the side that you can tentatively trust them. Whereas on the Titans side, I don't know, man. That seems like a bunch of aging parts. And without A.J. Brown, ironically, in that trade to Philadelphia, the Titans just don't seem as explosive as they used to. So I'm actually going to lean Colts on this one.
Yeah, getting rid of A.J. Brown may have been the worst decision for them because you don't think that you need something like that in an offense, but clearly you do because even their former strengths are now weaknesses. They have not been able to get that ground game going, ranked 27th overall.
With Derrick Henry, they're 26?
With Derrick Henry, they are 27th overall in the ground game.
Oh.
And part of that might be because of not having that threat at the receiver level. Now, are the Colts better than that? At least on paper, they look it. 12th on offense, 11th on defense. Numbers don't tell the whole story, but I think that overall, the Colts are in a slightly better position, like you said. The Titans are aging a little bit. Derrick Henry, how much does he have left in the tank? He's still performing at a high level, but clearly not the same as the vast majority of teams.
Yeah.
So I
think it took a little bit of time for Matt Ryan to get used to the system, to start moving the engine down the field, too. I think it's a good lean on the Colts here.
Putting up lots of yards. He's completing a high percentage of passes. Give them time. They'll probably win that division. I'm going to go with the Colts.
All right.
Next up, we have a West Coast cross-conference matchup. We have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to L.A. to face off against the Chargers. Geno Smith, the new Russell Wilson. Rich, who wins this game?
Boy, man,
I did not expect Seattle to be sitting here at 3-3 and the Broncos to be where they are, given the quarterback switch up. But what do you think? Could we be seeing a little bit of a resurgence in Seattle here?
There might be. Because right now, the Chargers are severely injured. They are banged up. The offensive line is kind of what the Eagles were 2 years ago, where it's like constantly new people in and out, which unfortunately is stopping the powerful offense that was the Chargers. I mean, everybody thought Justin Herbert was going to take a big step up this year, but you can't really do that if the offensive line is a different five guys every series, and they're not protecting Herbert. He was getting pressured and sacked constantly from the Broncos on that Monday night game, which led to such a low score in that one. I don't know. I think maybe the Seahawks might actually take this one. You know what? Why not? Seahawks making a statement.
Okay.
I could see it. Boy, you know what? But that would really be the icing on the cake, that the Chargers beat the Broncos and then the Seahawks beat the Chargers. That would be the icing on the cake.
That would be the icing on the cake. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to disagree. The Chargers at home, they, yes, struggled against the Broncos. The Broncos have a shockingly good defense this year.
They do. They do.
Third overall. Seattle, dead last. They are not the Legion of Boom like they used to be. Yes, offensively, things are clicking, but I think that we might see a little bit of a bounce back here from the Chargers at home against a
They got to get that offensive line.
They got to get that offensive line
They
going.
They got to gel together. They got
What
to trust each other.
Better opportunity than at home against the last ranked defense in the league through 6 weeks.
That offensive line has to come together fast.
I'm going Chargers. No better team than at home against the dead last ranked defense.
How about this? If the Seahawks are getting, significant points, then I'll definitely go for them.
Okay.
How about that?
All
Maybe
right.
I'm more of in the betting mindset. So
Okay.
if you're giving me some good quality points,
Tell me, what's the line on this one then? Because this is the, quote, should have been primetime game of the week.
why? Why?
I
Look,
don't understand.
again.
This is the game, guys. Kansas City Chiefs at San Francisco 49ers.
Fire the schedule, people.
Chiefs at Niners. This could be a Super Bowl preview.
Why is that not a primetime game?
I don't know, but who wins it? Who wins the should have been primetime bowl? I can't believe it's not. I can't believe you trot out the Bears and Patriots on Monday night, and this is a 4:30 game.
Yeah. This one, I'm pretty confident, though, in the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they took a loss against the Bills, a close loss that they gave up on the final drive of the game that Josh Allen was able to march down the field and score to win that one. I think the Chiefs are going to come back in this one very hungry, very excited to make a point in this one. Like you said, it could be a Super Bowl matchup, so they definitely want to instill some fear into the NFC. And I mean, Mahomes is still Mahomes, man. I know the Chiefs' defense isn't up to snuff as much as you would like them to be, but Mahomes is still just firing on all cylinders. The wide receiver core seems to be more evenly spread out. That now that Tyreek Hill's not there, they're all getting a piece of the action. Kelsey is still Kelsey. I think that this one's Chiefs all the way.
Yeah, the Bills, the only reason the Bills beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead is because I think person to person, position by position, the Bills are the most complete team in the NFL. The 49ers, while impressive on defense, are only above average offensively. They're not as complete as the Bills, and even though they're at home, I think this is a perfect opportunity for Mahomes to come in and show everyone that they're still one of the top teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yes, they got embarrassed by the Bills at home. It happens. But the Bills are extraordinary. The Niners are just very good. You need to be extraordinary to beat the Chiefs. So I'm going with the Chiefs here.
All right. And there you go. That's our Fantastic Four picks for week number 7. This upcoming weekend of games. And for those that are wondering, why is there no Eagles? Well, there's a certain reason.
Those damn barbarians have got my Eagles.
Yeah, that's the bye week has decided to make an appearance. So the Eagles are they got the week off, so they're enjoying some time off.
Where are my Eagles?
Do
That's
they
why.
suffer from the whole coming out of the bye week a little slow kind of thing?
I think it's a real possibility, especially coming out against the Steelers. That's their Week 8 opponent.
The Steelers,
The
in every power ranking, they're like the bottom 5-6 teams.
They're not a pushover team. I mean,
Okay.
if you don't treat them,
But hold on, I'm going to be at that game, so they have to.
Oh,
win.
you are?
Yeah, I'm going to be at that game.
Oh,
In
nice.
Philly, yeah.
Good for you.
So they have to win for me.
Oh, good for you.
There you go.
I think no, I have seen the Eagles lose. Never mind. That's my brother. Whenever my brother goes to a game, the team he's cheering for wins. That is statistically proven.
So get Bruno. What's he doing?
I don't know. He's
Where the hell is he?
out there watching the Bears play the Commanders.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Or what is it? Bears and Patriots?
Yeah, Bears and
boy.
Patriots on Monday.
There you go. That's going to be interesting.
Woof.
Oh, no. We suck again.
Seriously, who put the Bears in primetime twice?
Yeah.
Back-to-back weeks.
Fire that scheduler.
That leads perfectly into this next segment because it's filled with a whole bunch of bad news, unfortunately. It's time for the 3-minute drill.
All right, we're going to hit a couple topics in 3 minutes or less. The clock is armed. What is it, Mike?
So first up, a little bit of sad and disappointing news. Another woman has filed a lawsuit against quarterback Deshaun Watson. The saga continues. If you were unconvinced after the first 25, this officially makes it 26. Does the commissioner revisit this suspension now? Does he go back and be like, hey, guys, we need to tack on a couple more games?
No.
No, because they want him back to play against the Texans.
Yeah.
Such bull, such BS.
Yeah. And I mean, they already kind of handed the final punishment, so I don't think you can.
You just tack on an extra one.
Is it like double jeopardy? Yeah, you can't go back.
Oh, he's like, I was already accused of this 25 times, so the 26th is free? Like what?
Yeah.
What kind of
He has
perverted?
He has a little
punch
coupon,
card.
little punch card. Yeah, a little coupon punch card. Yeah, sorry.
So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I hope this guy never plays again. But the NFL is dead set on getting one of their stars back. So we'll see how this plays out, both legally and in the NFL. Next up, another huge legal crap storm brewing with the Washington Commanders and their owner, Dan Snyder. What a weird and sordid tale. Dan Snyder, of course, accused of everything under the sun. There's calls to investigate him and the organization, but then Snyder turns around and he goes, hey, I have dirt on players, coaches, owners, even Goodell. Who says this?
Yeah.
Is he some kind of mob boss? What
Yeah.
is happening?
He sounds more like he's on The Sopranos than he is running the NFL.
What is going on in this man's head?
Yeah.
But then you're like, it can't get crazier than that. Then you have another owner, Colts owner Jim Irsay, going, we should openly investigate him and remove him. And he doesn't care if he has dirt on anyone.
Yeah.
And then pressed and asked if he thinks the owners have the votes. He goes, I think so.
Yeah,
So
there
he
you go.
thinks
Take
they
him out.
have enough owners to remove him. Could we see Dan Snyder forcibly removed as the
Sure.
owner?
It happened in the NBA. Why not?
What a wild time to be following the NFL.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Go for it.
I think that he should, I think it was Al Michaels on TV said they should move the team or remove him.
Yep.
I mean, the calls against Dan Snyder are getting increasingly more dire.
Yep. Go for it. Take him
So
out.
go for it. And finally, the last little bit of bad news here for the NFL. The NFL and Amazon have announced that their crappy Thursday night games aren't enough. They now have Black Friday games starting next year.
Yeah, woo!
That's it.
Black Friday.
That's it. Like literally, they're going to do the Thanksgiving football and then Black Friday at like 3 p.m. Why?
It's for all the people in the turkey hangover. You wake up just in time for the 3 p.m. Black Friday game. It's perfect.
I can't wait for another Bears Commanders on Friday.
Hey, you know what? It's football on Friday. Why not? There you go. That was perfect timing there. The 3-minute drill ended
That was good.
right then and there. Very good timing on everybody's part. Good work, Mike.
Okay.
All right, and there you go. That is all the sports news that we can get to in this first half of the show. We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree and then the non-fortune cookie odd news still to come. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble.
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
We're going to talk about 22-year-old Matthew Kyle Letham, and he decided to call police at 4:45 in the morning because he couldn't find a ride home after the bar at 4:45 in the morning. But that is not the actual oddity of this story. Police encountered Matthew Letham on the scene, and that's when they noted that this dude actually has a tattoo of the state of Florida in between his two eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I have his mugshot. So here we go.
He's literally Florida man.
Yes.
He's like a superhero Florida man, and that is like his logo.
He is Mr. Florida Man. So
I mean, you know, it's the most harmless Florida story we've ever had.
Yeah, except for the fact that dude has a tattoo
is stupid
that will last the rest of his life that he cannot hide.
You cannot undo that. Every job interview he goes to, the very first thing they're going to see and question is the Florida tattoo. Yeah.
It's literally like, can I touch it? Like, it's right there.
You know the scene in Austin Powers Goldmember? The guy who has the mole?
Yeah.
Moly, 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 moly. Yeah. It is that, except with Florida on his forehead. Is anybody more proud of their home state than that guy? Nope.
Can't say it. I can't see.
Nope.
I can't think of anybody else.
Nope.
So,
I love Pennsylvania, but not that much.
No, I do not want. Pennsylvania is a big state too. I do not want that on my forehead.
It's very square or rectangular. It would, yeah. What's the weirdest state to get tattooed to a forehead? I think. What do you think would be the weirdest one? I mean, I think Florida, because the way it's shaped.
Florida's pretty weird. California would be weird because it's
very long,
and then it juts out.
No, Michigan.
Ooh, yeah. Because they got
Michigan.
all those like Great Lakes and stuff.
Yeah, and it's split in half.
Ugh, yeah, that would not be good.
That'd be a weird one.
Yeah.
Alaska. Oh, Oklahoma. I was gonna say Alaska.
Oklahoma, you have to get the box, and then you have to get that little dinky panhandle that goes the other half of your head.
You're literally making yourself a unibrow, and then like it has like a little hat on it.
Yeah. Ew.
What about Alaska? You have that whole chain of islands coming off the side. It's gonna like go around the side of your head almost.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest conversation we've ever had. In 8 years of podcast, I think it's safe to say that talking about the weirdest state to tattoo to your forehead, probably the dumbest thing we've ever talked about.
It's 2021, man.
And we were like actually analyzing. You're like, oh yeah, and the islands, and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. There's something fundamentally broken with us, Rich, in 2021.
It's 2021. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's
the
that
pandemic.
simple.
The pandemic's gone on too long, Rich. We've hit a breaking point.
Yeah. All right.
Next week we're both going to show up with states tattooed to our foreheads.
Dear God. Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. There you go. We got all the sports news out of the way. And we are moving right along with the second half of our show, where we're going to go over some entertainment news and odd news. But first up the bat, it will be the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, there you go. Entertainment entree time. And we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with movies, TV, and video games in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the peoples?
All right, first up this week in entertainment. In theaters, 2 limited releases are coming to theaters this week, so it may be kind of hard to find them, but if you can, they're getting some seriously strong reviews. A lot of people are saying that they could get a lot of awards attention later in the year. So the 2 movies are The Banshees of Inisherin from Martin McDonagh. He's the writer-director of 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yes.
So some good resume right there. Go check that movie out. The other one is After Sun, getting a lot of attention as well. Both of them more on the dramatic side. The Banshees of Inisherin is a dark kind of dramedy set off the west coast of Ireland about 2 friends whose friendship splinters, and then one is trying however possible to repair their friendship while the other gives him a serious ultimatum that could result in shocking consequences.
That's Brandon Gleeson and Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah.
Reuniting since In Bruges.
Yep, absolutely, yep. So, yeah, a lot of great star power. Definitely go check out that. After Sun, meanwhile, is about a daughter who reflects on a trip that she and her father took when they were younger, and reminisces about the father that she knew and the father that she didn't know in those 20 intervening years. The very vague description, but again, getting a lot of serious critical praise, so definitely try to check them out if you can. Next up in TV, a little bit more accessible, The Peripheral is a new sci-fi show coming to Amazon Prime from the creators of HBO's Westworld. Set in a near-future America, a woman struggles with caring for her mother, her sick mother, and managing her failing career in a small rural town when she gets the opportunity to escape into an experimental VR device. But when using the device, she can't tell if what's happening inside, such as a shocking murder, is actually a simulation or real. So it sounds like it could be very mind-bendy, sci-fi. Very trippy. Again, from the creators of Westworld, so kind of in that whole realm of cerebral sci-fi. That's The Peripheral coming to Amazon Prime this week. And finally, in video games, we have Plague Tale Requiem coming to all major consoles and PC. It's a third-person stealth action game set during the 100-Year War in 14th century France. You must guide your younger brother to the south of France to search for a cure to his mysterious illness that also grants him the ability to manipulate plague rats. It's a very cool game mechanic. It's got an 83 on Metacritic, so it's actually a sequel to the first game, which I played and thoroughly enjoyed. It's a bit slower, a bit more focused on the narrative and the stealth, but definitely has those moments of action and a really great weird medieval sort of mystery going on as well. And then a little bit more multiplayer fast-paced action. We have Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed coming to all major consoles and PC this week. It's an asymmetrical multiplayer game in which 4 players play as the human Ghostbusters and another player plays as a single ghost. So obviously the 4 players have to catch the ghost, repair the damage that it causes, and calm down the people that the ghost has been terrifying, and the ghost, on the other hand, has to shock and scare and try and beat the humans. It can also be played single player with the AI handling the other roles in the game. It's got a 74% on Metacritic, so it's doing pretty well for a multiplayer-only game, and that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. We've got some streaming news for our main topic here in the entertainment entree. Netflix is going the path of, Hulu? I think Hulu has something like this.
Hulu, yep. A lot of the major streamers are introducing ad-supported tiers, give everyone a little bit of a cost efficient way to view that content. Netflix is now finally introducing their own ad-supported tier. It is coming out November 3rd at $7 a month. There are, however, lots of stipulations, and this is where I kind of have a problem with this. So, first off, the big question, how many ads do I have to sit through when I watch the next season of Stranger Things? The reports say that you will get about 4 to 5 minutes of ads per hour of television. So much better than cable, and certainly way better than broadcast television, which I think now is up to 18 minutes of ads per hour of television. And at cable, I think it's about 12 to 15-ish. It's a little bit better on cable, but so much better.
18 is almost a third. Oh my god.
Yes. It
Ew.
is. Yeah. It's a lot of ads. And how are you going to be getting those ads? It's going to be 15 to 30-second spots, both before and during the content. And that's the thing that pisses me off. I hate ads in the middle. I can sit through a pre-roll ad or two, and even, during the credits, whatever. But I hate when it brings me out of the content to watch an ad. I hate when YouTube videos do that. And it seems like Netflix is going to be going the same way. But the biggest annoyance to me, the biggest one, streams are limited to 720p. Just regular high definition, not full HD, not Ultra HD, not 8K HD, 720, because this is 2004, guys. I can't believe this one.
Yeah, that's stupid.
As TVs get larger and the resolution gets better, Netflix goes in the opposite direction. You have to pay extra for 4K, where it's usually standard for all the other streamers, and now they're actually, degrading the resolution for this ad-supported tier. I can't get behind that.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, that seems a very unnecessary limitation.
Right? Because what is even made in 720?
Handheld cameras?
I mean, I'm just so baffled by this choice. You're right. It seems like a completely unnecessary limitation.
Yeah.
Something
like that really is like kicking you when you're down, like, screw you.
It's not
You're not good enough for the full package.
Exactly. It is very much like that.
You cheap vagabonds, get off of Netflix.
Would just regular 1080p have been...
Are the commercials going to be in 720p?
No, the commercials are going to come through in 4K, HDR, 3D audio, laser vision.
Yeah.
Just like on television, they're like 25 decibels higher than the actual show you're watching.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. On top of that, some content will be restricted due to licensing deals, although Netflix says they're trying to work that out. So you may not be able to watch certain things on this tier. And
I declare bankruptcy!
Yeah, this is the bankruptcy tier.
Basically. Because you also cannot download content for offline viewing either on mobile devices. So if you have this tier and you're getting ready to go on a flight or a long train or a car ride. Sorry, you are out of luck, friend.
Yeah.
Pony up the big bucks for the big boy tier.
I declare bankruptcy!
What's your read on this other than Netflix declaring bankruptcy, apparently?
This is stupid. This is utterly stupid.
There's so many limitations.
I thought
the ads, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
If you need to save a buck or two, the ads are manageable.
Right. I thought that was just the caveat. We're just going to have to watch ads. That's fine.
There are so many caveats.
But, oh my God, these couple of things at the end are just unnecessary penalties.
Yes, it is. It's a penalty to being poor.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
It's just kicking you while you're down. Like, obviously, if you're going to this tier, you're going through some sort of financial hardship. You're going through some sort of budgeting. You're going through something where you have said to yourself, I need to save money per month.
Right.
There is something, that you got to keep an eye out for. You're hurting financially.
Right.
And Netflix is just throwing these daggers while you're down.
Yeah. So the ads, I totally get the ads. That's fine. But really, it's the limiting the quality.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that.
Right. That doesn't make any sense.
Like, I can't imagine there's any reasoning for that whatsoever. The content has already been produced. It's, the server space it takes up is what it is. I feel like it would be more effort to have a different version of the stream or to limit that particular stream. Like, I feel like there's extra work that goes into that than just, sending whatever standard version they have.
Yeah.
Right? It's just ridiculous. And then the licensing deals, I don't know why there would be weird licensing deals in place. Like, you can't show content that has ads. That just seems bizarre to me.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe like any sort of like old like Uber creative guy, like maybe like a Scorsese or something.
Scorsese or Nolan's like, no, how dare you?
Yeah,
no ads.
I could imagine something like that with them. But
that's very frustrating.
But the thing with not being able to download and the stream's limited to 720p, that is literally Netflix spitting in your face.
There's right. Especially
you
the
poor people.
The download one makes no sense, even less sense than the 720p. The download,
it's a universal option,
right? But like, here's the thing that doesn't affect their bottom line whatsoever.
Yeah,
like you download it with the ads. Maybe that's why they can't do it, because they can't like insert the ads into the download. Maybe they need to be able to stream the ads to you. It just seems ridiculous.
They're trying to collect every time they show the ad, maybe, and like therefore you can't download it,
and they can't track that. It just
the 720p quality is stupid. That is
dumb.
Stupid.
I mean, I haven't watched anything like outside of like bad YouTube videos. I haven't seen anything in 720p. And
if you have bought a smartphone in the last 6 years, you are capable of shooting at 1080p.
Oh yeah.
Like that is embarrassing.
Most of them shoot in 4K now.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. 720p.
And not to mention, Netflix is still one of the last streamers that puts that 4K content behind their highest paywall. Like, I think Disney Plus came out, it was like standard. I think HBO Max is standard. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous in this day and age. And this is also, as a sort of side tangent to this is also coming around the same time that they will start cracking down on the password sharing. They're going to introduce an extra, I think it's like $3 charge if you're sharing your account with people who are not in the same physical location. So, for example, that impacts me.
Yeah.
I got Netflix at the apartment. My parents use that Netflix. My brother, don't listen to Netflix, plug ears. My brother's using it out in Chicago. And so, we're going to get hit with that. I think it's $3 per extra user. And it's just very, like, they're making Netflix not fun anymore.
They're making Netflix unusable, yeah.
Yeah. It used to be you would go to Netflix for really great quality content. Now you have to, wade through every single cooking show. Is it cake? Is it bacon? Is it, I don't know, what the next is it show they're going to have. Then you get ads. Then your stream is limited. Then you get taxed extra if you're sharing it with people. It's not user friendly.
Yeah.
And when something is not user friendly, people leave services. Now, do you think that could be a real problem for Netflix?
Yes. This is way too many stupid conundrums they're throwing into this.
Is it too many hoops to jump through?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I hear a ship coming approach the harbor.
Yar.
Oh, I wonder what that could be.
Oh, it's got black flags.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's this type of stuff that drives people to...
I am perplexed. That's really deep.
That's really deep.
Yeah. That's really deep code.
Wow. But you're right. It is policies like this that push people to... Are you pointing at people?
Pointing at the camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
He was so proud of that.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I mean, maybe more people will turn to solutions like that instead of Netflix. I mean, it used to be Netflix was very simple.
We're going to go out on the seas and
go out on the high
just have a
seas,
nice boat ride.
But in all seriousness, there is a concern here that I've seen mentioned, and we've talked about on the podcast before. Does Netflix actually survive the streaming wars?
I don't know. At this rate, I don't like what they're coming out with.
And everybody says...
Everybody's trying to be more inclusive, and Netflix, I feel like, is being more restrictive.
Right.
That's not the attitude to have.
Right. It's the opposite attitude. The other thing that people, you hear, oh, Netflix won't survive. They're like, oh, but Netflix is Netflix. Yes, I know it's synonymous with streaming. But remember, Netflix has a way higher cost of production than everyone else. And you're saying, how is that possible? It's because every other streaming service has purchased or was already owned by major production companies. Disney Plus has all the history of Disney and ABC and Fox. Peacock has NBC, Universal. Paramount has CBS and Viacom. Amazon has MGM. Netflix has Netflix.
Yep, that's it.
They don't have content unless they shell out for it. Disney has 100 years of content they can sit back on.
Yep.
So it's a much higher cost of production, and things like this reek of, we need to pad the bottom line because things are not maybe, how expensive is a show like Stranger Things, and it just makes me worried, and it sounds quite alarmist, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Netflix becomes too big to continue to manage things the way that they are now.
Yeah, it's possible.
And I'm not saying, next month or next year, but as these other services continue to balloon and take over more, I mean, what if Disney comes rolling in and they're like, hey, we'll just buy you out, or, maybe an Amazon or somebody. It's, they're playing with companies that have been around and have been doing these things for much longer.
Yeah. And with moves like this, I don't know. This seems very short-sighted.
Yeah.
So
they're punishing users. They're punishing regular users.
Yeah.
That have been making their service successful. We've stomached price hikes, but now this is just straight up gatekeeping.
Yep.
So
enjoy that 720p content.
That's very upsetting.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Utterly stupid.
Literally, what decade is this, guys?
Yep. And there you go. That's the entertainment entree. So, without further ado, we'll get into the third and final portion of the show. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I've seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing the story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
Yes. I think we gave Florida a little bit of a break there, right?
We did. We did.
So, you know what? It's time for Florida. They got to come back in true fashion here.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yep, got to bring it home back to Florida.
Okay, all right, excellent.
And the first one, we got to talk about our good friend Matthew Leatham.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah, you remember him?
Vaguely. Remind me again who he is.
I can totally remind you who he is, Mike. It's him!
Oh, my God, no.
He's back!
No, the Florida man.
The Florida man, yes. The man
my God.
with the state of Florida tattooed on his forehead.
This is ridiculous. This was one of the last, I believe this was one of the last crispy compact communiques that we did.
Yes, during COVID, yep.
It was like one of the last few episodes that we did. Yeah, and for people who do not have the video, it is literally exactly as it sounds. It is a man with a silhouette of Florida tattooed in the middle of his forehead, not like off to one side. Like the dongle of Florida goes like where his eyebrows are.
Yep,
like
the dongle.
Almost to the bridge of his nose. It is
the angle of the dangle is the bridge of his nose.
The angle of the dangle is the bridge. I don't know why that sounds like poetry.
It does.
The angle of the dangle is the bridge of the nose.
Yep. So
Wow.
he is back in the news, folks.
Did he get another state tattooed to his head?
No.
Damn.
Unfortunately, he committed another crime.
Of course he did. He has You can. You are destined to crime if you have a state tattoo to your forehead. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
You can't have a state tattoo to your forehead and be like a regular person.
No, he's not a regular person. Apparently, Matthew Leatham, who's only 24 years old, got into a physical altercation with his friend outside of a gas station at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, just.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
4:30 in the morning. I've had enough of you.
Well, you see, his friend had a tattoo of Texas on his forehead, and he had a tattoo of Florida on his forehead. So mortal enemies.
Yep. Apparently, the argument got so serious that Leatham took out a razor and decided to threaten him with it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Not very good friends.
Yeah, they have This is a very loose term of friends here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. This doesn't really hold up to the
a razor,
dictionary test.
Like a razor blade or like a shaving razor? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to go with something like a razor blade.
Okay.
Because according to police, when they arrived on the scene, he actually was able to instill a slice wound on the victim. So,
oh God.
Yeah, this is definitely a real sharp blade. So I'm going to go with it more of a razor blade.
Not a shaving razor. Yeah.
Yeah.
He attacks him with an electric razor.
I'm going to shave your head.
Oh no.
Yep. Cops did arrive on the scene and were able to arrest Leatham before he caused any more damage. Leatham claims that this was all in self-defense, and he is talking to the public defendant to see about pleading not guilty.
Of course.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, good luck, I guess.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
I don't know how you can plead self-defense if you have a weapon.
You've got the weapon.
If you've got the weapon and the other person doesn't have a weapon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the way that works.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
So
I would say he's not thinking clearly, but the man also has the state of Florida tattooed on his forehead.
He's absolutely not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
What was the argument about? Did it say?
No. Apparently, they did not write that in the police report.
At 4:30 in the morning, they're just arguing.
Florida.
Florida.
The answer's Florida. Why not?
Sure.
I'll meet you at the gas station at 4:30 in the morning.
We're gonna fight at the gas. We're gonna have a rumble.
This is the West Side Story.
This is West Side Story, except it's
coming to you.
South Beach Story.
South Beach Story. Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
I'll see you at the Valero gas station at 4:30 in the morning.
I'll be there.
Bring your razor.
It's a razor fight. They're like, ting, ting, ting. I really hope, just in my heart of hearts, that his friend also had Florida tattooed to his forehead. And they're kind of like, they're trying to make a gang. They're like a fledgling gang. They're like, we're the Florida Forehead Gang.
Florida Foreheads.
But the two founders, of the Florida Forehead Gang, say that 3 times fast, they got into an argument. The founders floundered in founding the Florida Forehead Gang.
Yep, that's it. That's all it took.
And then the razors came out.
Yep. They're gonna have to found it in prison.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this might be it for Leatham because he is charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, which is a felony.
Oh, no. If he goes to jail, we're not going to have any more stories about him.
I know, yeah. I think this might be the last time we talk about him.
That's so sad.
Because up until this point, he really only had kind of misdemeanors. He had marijuana possessions, misuse of the 911 system. Apparently, he also had an attack on his mother, but the mother didn't press charges. So he's kind of skated by so far in his career.
Not anymore.
But this one is pretty bad. This is a felony. He was He was released on $10,000 bond. Sure, Florida. Good. All right.
I don't know where he found the money for that.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine if you have a state tattoo to your forehead that you have money.
Well, you know what? He's got money enough for the tattoo, so I guess he's got some.
That's true.
Tattoos aren't cheap.
No, they're not. That's true. He did have money for that tattoo.
Yeah. So we'll see how this ends, but I think this might be the charge that digs him in, because a felony, aggravated battery, that's definitely a couple of years. You're not getting off that one.
I don't think we're going to be hearing from this guy for a while.
Yep. So Matthew Leatham, it was good to know you.
We hardly knew ye.
I mean, I don't know. We had 2 news stories on him in the last 2 years.
I guess we knew him better than some of the other odd news perps.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's always sad when you lose an odd news perp.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe he'll come back for one more round.
I mean, we've had odd news stories from prison. Maybe we'll get something from him from inside his cell.
Yeah, maybe. Never know. But I do have one more actual Florida news story that I was going to report on before I saw that headline pop up. So here's the original odd news story of the week.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Well, a South Florida man is facing felony charges after he got angry at a woman and threatened her with a machete. So,
Classic.
yeah, why not?
Classic.
Just pull out.
This is not the first time in the odd news somebody's been threatened with a machete.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Apparently just people walk around Florida with machetes, I guess.
What? I know there's like the Everglades and there's like, wildlife, but a machete?
Another thing too,
like machetes are big, right?
Yeah,
like they're not.
If you're carrying a big machete, do you have like a sheath like on your belt? Like how are you just walking around town?
So I just looked it up. They're typically between 12 to 18 inches long. That's a pretty big blade.
Yeah,
that's longer than a standard chef's knife.
Like
from
how do
like
you
your
carry
kitchen.
that all day?
I guess you carry around like Crocodile Dundee. You got
Don't
like
mind me, yeah.
You have like a literal scabbard that you're just like pulling it out, like or a sheath, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Well, let's add another wrinkle into this, because not only did he have the machete on him, but according to police, when they arrived on the scene, the man was also naked except wearing a cowboy hat, according to cops.
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Maybe this guy was.
Maybe he's a Dallas fan and he's upset.
Yeah, him and Jerry were heading to the glory hole days.
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah, so.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Only wearing a cowboy hat.
Just a
yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
I want me some glory hole.
Yikes. So he's just with a machete and a cowboy hat.
How are you hiding the machete if you're naked?
He's just walking. He's got to carry it everywhere he goes, which is really inefficient.
Do you only have like the sheath of the
Maybe he's
machete?
He's just walking.
That's it?
Maybe he's just walking around with it in his hand.
I don't know.
He's got one hand on the handle and the other hand on his penis.
Yeah, I don't know. The man is 45-year-old Roberto Hercules.
Oh my God!
What a name! Just
that's why he's strutting around naked. He literally thinks he's a demigod.
Yeah.
I want me some glory hole.
This happened at Northwest 74th Street and South River Drive in Medley, Florida. So for our Florida friends, there you go. Give you guys some idea where we're at. Initially, according to a police report, the woman was riding her bicycle in the area. Hercules then stopped her. I mean, why did the woman stop? Just keep riding past.
You're on a bike. Just keep going.
You see a naked man with a cowboy hat. Just keep driving. Keep bicycling.
Don't
stop. I mean, I know it's unique, but no, no, please don't.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
I want me some glory hole.
Wow. So I just looked up Medley, Florida. It's like on the edge of it's like the last part of civilization before you get to the Everglades outside of Miami.
Okay, so there you go. Give you some idea where we're at
So
here.
maybe he's carrying a machete because he lives in the Everglades. He's like a swamp person.
He's definitely some sort of person.
He's some kind of person.
Just cowboy hat and nothing else on.
Oh boy. But yeah, why you have a bike? Just keep. I mean, maybe he jumped in front, like,
or maybe you just saw a naked man and you're just like, I have to pull over. I have to stop.
I
have to stop.
I have to
What
see
is
what's
happening?
going on over here.
What is? You know what? Is my vision going bad? Is this a mental breakdown? Like maybe I do need to stop before I hurt myself.
Although you'd think in Florida, it's such a common image, you would just be like, it's just another Thursday.
It's the cowboy hat that gets me.
It's the cowboy
hat.
hat.
Why is there a cowboy hat on him?
He just woke up for the day. He's, gets ready. He gets out of bed, brushes his teeth, takes a nice shower, has a cup of coffee, pops on his hat, still completely naked. He's like, yep, ready for the day.
Ready to go. Here we go. Yep, exactly.
Something just came over me and I took my clothes off.
The one thing I'm just considering about stories like this, did he lose his clothes at some point? Did he take his clothes off? Or did he leave the house like this?
Those are the things you have to imagine on your own because there's no information on that. He is just butt naked except for his cowboy hat.
Wow.
He's ready for glory hole.
I want me some glory hole.
He's ready for glory hole.
Yeah. All right. So the lady stopped on her bicycle, and Hercules asked her, "Do you have a crack pipe?"
I'm starting to get an idea of why he's naked.
You makes me very, very mad. You eat the cheeseburger and smoke the crack?
Yep. Just
I will say people have asked me if I have a light, if I have a smoke. I've never had anybody ask me if I have a crack pipe.
No.
Never, not once.
Yep. She said no, and that's when Hercules got very angry. He then charged at her with this machete. So, yeah, this is...
Yikes.
Yeah, this is full-blown attack now. How dare you not have a crack pipe for me?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Why would anybody... I mean, I guess if you're on crack, I guess you just assume everybody else is as well.
Unfortunately, one slash did hit the woman on her arm.
Oh, God.
And left a large laceration. So she had to go to the hospital when cops arrived. Luckily, she's now in stable condition, so she will recover. Hercules ran away, but police were able to find him later on. He was caught just sleeping, still naked, in his cowboy hat in a tent next to a group of businesses on West 10th Court nearby.
What?
That's where he ended up.
Okay.
I want me some glory hole.
Maybe he heard the glory hole was happening there or something.
He's just chasing his glory hole.
Yeah.
Chasing those glory hole days.
According to the police report, he was indeed naked, and he had 2 cowboy hats now. Ooh.
Wait, this is a plot twist. Where'd the second cowboy hat come from? Are they multiplying? Does he only own cowboy hats?
I guess, yeah.
He couldn't afford a residency, and he didn't afford clothes, but he was able to buy a second cowboy hat. Not a pack of underwear.
He's got his priorities straight. I need more cowboy hats.
On the list of things he needs, let's see, not rent, not utilities, not clothes. Nope, it's cowboy hats,
second cowboy
machetes.
Hat. Second cowboy hat.
Second cowboy hat.
I want me some glory hole.
Yes. I need that second cowboy hat.
I just like to imagine in his little, homeless tent that he just has just cowboy hats, one for each day.
Yeah.
He's got different kinds. He's got his, lazy Sunday cowboy hat. He's got his dress-up cowboy hat.
Now, I'd like to imagine that every day that he went uncaught, the cowboy hats would multiply. That sounds about right.
So he goes out with a cowboy hat. He does his whole naked spree thing.
Yes.
He comes back in the evening, and there's another one appears.
I've done it! Another hat for me!
So they're just magically duplicating?
Yes. For every successful day, he's not caught. Yeah.
That's amazing. I like that. So he's like some kind of magical being.
Yes.
I like it.
Hercules also had painted nails. So
That's a very odd thing to specify, but okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. At some point, he
So-
either got his nails done or somebody did his nails.
So priorities: cowboy hat, machete, manicure.
Yes.
Okay.
No clothes.
This to-do list is wild.
I want to know if he did not paint his own nails, where did he go?
Was he naked while getting his nails painted?
Yes.
And what did he do with the machete?
Who accepted a naked man and was like, "Yeah, I'll paint your nails"?
You know the little things that people leave their umbrellas in at the front of stores?
Yeah, the little
that's
tray?
That's where he put his machete.
Oh, okay. He
Like
just left it right there.
Like other people are putting their umbrellas in that little like basket sometimes that places have, and he put his machete in there.
So
wow.
Yeah. He's got his priorities straight. Yep.
Well, at least his nails look good.
Unfortunately, this is going to end up being very serious for him because police are charging him with attempted murder. I mean,
Ooh. I mean,
it was a deadly weapon. It's a machete.
Wow.
And
he made contact.
Yep. And aggravated battery with a weapon.
Wow.
So
he is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be doing much more naked cowboy glory hole sprees.
I
want me some glory hole.
I'm just sad that he's going to be separated from his cowboy hats.
Yeah, I don't think they'll let you bring those in the jail.
No, that's really what I mean.
This jail ain't big enough for the both of our hats, see? That's what the sheriff says to him.
The sheriff's got his hat, and he's like, "There's only room for one hat in
There's
this
only
here
one
jail."
hat in this here jail, son. You ain't bringing that one in here.
That's so sad. Where are they going to go?
What's going to happen to the ones that keep magically reappearing?
Whenever he gets out, like 10, 15 years from now, he's going to come back to a tent that is just bursting with hats. He's going to open a hat shop.
Yeah.
He's going to turn his life around. This is actually the start of a rags to riches story.
This would be
right here.
This would be a weird Disney movie. I don't know.
This is definitely like a wholesome, like feel good. Like
other than the machete.
This is
and the nakedness.
Yeah, we'd have to write around that somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe only shoot from the waist up.
Yeah.
You imply that he's naked. There's a lot of weird double entendre lines. You know.
Yeah.
You imagine he could be, but you don't know.
Just hire Jerry Jones for it.
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
So there
such
you
a bad line. Well, this guy, I don't know, maybe he might get some glory hole in prison.
Yeah, but he might be on the receiving end.
Oh.
And there you go. I think with that final note, I think we need to start wrapping up this episode. Thank you, Florida, for returning into our lives with these wonderful gentlemen.
Amazing.
I mean,
it's magical.
Yeah, you literally have the dumbest tattoo ever on earth.
So dumb.
And then, I don't know, this cowboy machete naked man.
With painted nails.
With painted nails, yeah, too.
Hey, look, at least he's looking good, right? He's got the manicure, he's got the hat, he's ready to hit the town.
Yeah. Well, he's ready to hit the prison now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And with that, we got to start wrapping this up. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure, though, most importantly, you're following us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you're following us on our video feeds that we have either on YouTube, either on Facebook, or on Spotify. On Spotify, you can have us in the video form, or you can listen to us in the background, and it'll be available as a traditional podcast that way as well. So there's so many ways to stay in contact with us and listen to our show every week that goes out Wednesday night.
Absolutely. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. You can find us on the Twitters and let us know what's happening. If there's a topic you want us to talk about on next week's episode, send it our way. And if we do, we'll give you a sausage shout out. Any odd news, make sure you send it my way so that Mikey remains fresh when he hears the story.
That's right.
There you go. You got to have the right reactions to naked cowboy, machete swinging dudes.
My eyes and ears must remain virgin and untouched
when it comes to
odd news. Yes.
But if it's sports or entertainment, that can go to either one of us or at the Crispy Noodle main Twitter. And send it our way. If we use your topic, we'll give you the sausage shout out, and you will be happy for the rest of your life. It's that simple.
It's true. Scientifically proven by 4 out of 5 doctors.
Exactly. Perfect.
We are not doctors.
No, that's not us. It's other doctors. Anyway, that'll wrap it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That will do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.